Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Where are you now?
I'm in the Holy Land.
Oh my gosh. Hong Kong?
Yeah.
Hong Kong?
No, I'm in Israel, the Holy
Nepal?
Land.
Nepal? Oh.
Where you been?
I was in the desert. Last week we were in New Jersey. Uh,
Uh,
Besides Hong Kong, do you go into China itself anymore?
I am.
Yeah, you do go. Where do you go in China? With
When am I going?
No, where in China do you go?
I start off in Hong Kong and I work my way to mainland China,
Uh-huh.
Shenzhen, Guangzhou,
Uh-huh.
hit the factories.
Yeah. They have Chabad in Shenzhen and Guangzhou?
Yeah,
They do.
yeah, yeah. Shenzhen, Guangzhou. I'm all over the
I've
place
been
now.
to the Beijing, I've been to the Shanghai. Yeah, I've been to those
Yeah,
two. Yeah. Shanghai has, I think, two of them.
Shanghai is, yeah, they got three of them, I think.
Oh,
Three or
three of
four
them.
now.
I haven't been in a
Yep.
long time.
Yeah, listen, they keep on having kids that are
The Chabad, you mean?
yeah,
Not the Chinese. The Chabad.
no, right. Chinese are limited. Where are we at?
We're
That's
on
that's
9b
you.
at the bottom. We're starting the new new Mishnah.
Hello, Harold.
Hey Walter, I got regards from you from Eric out in the desert.
Oh, is
I
he
saw,
back?
yeah, he came.
Hello? Hello? You went mute. Hello? I couldn't hear
Oh,
you.
oh, yeah, yeah. He's in town. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's his daughter's having a baby. His daughter in San Diego's having a baby, so he came until she has the baby.
Okay. How's he doing?
He's good. He's good. I said, "You gonna squeeze in some golf?" He says, "What do you think?" Of course he is.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Okay, I should call him.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to him for so long. Earlier said he's teaching at 7. I guess.
Where? With not with us.
No. I wonder where Mario is.
I don't know.
Oh.
Hello. Hi.
Ernie.
Tomorrow we'll learn at 4 o'clock. Start the new Perek. Perek Tesom and Bey, Daf Tesom and Bey's Perek Shlishi Kon Mashiach. Kon Mashiach Shechata. Kohen Gadol made a psak, and then he acted on the psak. V'achar kach over mimishichaso. He got removed as the Kohen Gadol. For example, he had a mum
Mordechai, 1 second.
before he brought his korban. Or nasi, chay nasi shechata. V'achar kach over megdulaso. He sinned, but before he brought his korban, he was not the melech anymore. So Kohen Mashiach may be par. He still brings the korban that he would have brought as a Kohen Gadol. But Vanosi may be Sa'ir. And the melech also brings a Sa'ir, because when he sinned, he was the melech. However, Mashiach she'avra mimshichasav achar kach chata. If the Kohen Gadol is no longer the Kohen Gadol, and then he sinned, or v'chen anasi, the melech she'avra megdulasav achar kach, Kohen Mashiach may be par. The Kohen Gadol still brings the par like he should have, but the melech, the nasi, only brings kehedyot. So the Gemara says there's a kavachayim here. Ashti yishloimar over mimshicha. So if he's no longer the Kohen Gadol and he sins, v'achakach chata maybe par chata v'achakach over mimshicha so tzrich lemeimar. So of course, if he's the Kohen Gadol and he sins, he would bring the par even if after he was removed. So there's no chiddush there, but mishum tektoni gabei nasi. Since by the melech the chi'ovrim and siyos v'achakach chata kedhedyot maisi, the melech brings a regular korban chatas. Ahachi tani gabi Mashiach chata v'achakach avra mevi par. The author of the Mishnah wants to be complete and completely parallel. Now, Manon and Mili. How do you know that the Mashiach, the Kohen Gadol, after he is removed as a Kohen Gadol, he still brings the par? The Torah Rabban. V'hikriv al chataso asher chata, melamed shemevi chatoso misho'avar. He brings the par even after he's no longer the Kohen Gadol. Because Yachol v'aloi din, who I could have learned the Kavachomer, umanas shemevi b'shigas ma'isa. A melech only brings a korban when he makes a mistake in the action. It has nothing to do with psak. So, yet, ein mevi chatoso misho'avar. The nasi doesn't bring his special melech korban once he's no longer melech. So Mashiach, Kohen Gadol, she'ein mevi b'shigas ma'isa, el alam davar b'shigas ma'isa. Kohen Gadol does not bring the korban with just being over the chet. He has to make an erroneous psak and then make the chet. So lo kol shekain, we would think that he wouldn't bring the par after he's been removed as a Kohen Gadol. Talmud loymar v'ikriv al chataso asher chata melamed shemevi al chataso even mishe avar, even when he's no longer the Kohen Gadol. For the Gemara v'nesi nami nasi. So the melech, after he's removed from the melech, should also bring the special melech korban mikava chomer uma mashiach she'ein mevi b'shigas ma'isa. Kohen Gadol does not bring the korban with shigas ma'isa only. He needs to make a hoirah and then shigas ma'isa. But maybe chatas misha'ovar, but he brings the regular par korban even though he's no longer the Kohen Gadol. Nasi shemevi chatas b'shigas ma'isa only. Einodin shemevi chatas misha'ovar. I would think that the nasi would bring the same nasi korban even when he's no longer the melech. Talmud loymar asher nachsiachta kishu nasi in kishu hedyot lo. So it's exersa kosev. Chatu ad shelo nismanu. Let's say either a melech or a Kohen Gadol, before they're appointed, they sin. Then later on they're appointed. So they bring regular korban yochid. However, Reb Shimon Oimer, imno dalahem achaloy nismanu, if they were informed of their chet before they were appointed, fine. Chayovit, they would be chayav the korban yochid. But if they find out mishin ismanu, if they're told about their sin, then pturim lagamri. Then they don't bring a korban at all. Ezeu nasi. Well, now we've been talking about nasi. Who's the nasi? Zeh melech. Shneamar, asher nasiach ta, v'asah chas mikol mitzvos Hashem lo kav, asher lo tasena b'shkaga v'ashem. Mi she'en al gaba vel Hashem lo kav. And which is only the melech who only has Hashem above him. So how do we know Manan and Mili that if they sin before they were appointed, they bring a korban yochid like a regular hedyot? The Tan Rabbana. Ima kohen Mashiach yechta, prat lekoitmois. It excludes averes that were done b'shkaga before they were kohen gadol. And without the pasuk, I would have thought sheyachol v'haloi dinu. I would have learned a kal v'chomer. Umonos yishemedi b'shigas ma'isa. A melech does not have to be involved in a psak. He commits a regular shogeg that makes him bring a korban. Yet, ein maybe ala koitmos. He doesn't bring korban for sins that he did before he was the melech. Mashiach she'en mevi ela ala davar shigas ma'isa. A kohen gadol that only brings a korban if he also made an erroneous psak. Ein odin shelo yavi ala koitmos. I would certainly understand that I don't bring korbanos for prior sin. Lo, I wouldn't have learned the kal v'chomer. Im amrit benasi by the melech shekein ein mevi chatosu misha ovar. Just because he doesn't bring a korban for prior sins, Tomer b'Mashiach shemevi chatosu misha ovar, but the kohen gadol can still bring the par. Hoilu mevi chatosu yavi gam ala koidmos. Just like if he's removed from the kohen gadol, we said that he has to bring the par. Maybe he has to bring korbanos even for averes he did prior to being appointed. Only when he's the kohen gadol. Chatak shu Mashiach maybe. When he sins, when he's the kohen gadol, he brings. But kishu eder, if he sinned when he was not the kohen gadol, ain't a man. Tanya nami lagabi nasi kai gafna. The same dialogue goes on about the melech, because it says asher nasiachta. Prat lekoidmos excludes sins that he did before he was the melech. And why do I need the pasuk? Balodinu. A kohen gadol brings his par even if he's been removed as a kohen gadol. Yet, eino mevi ala kohen. He doesn't bring korbanos for prior averes before he was the kohen gadol. Nasi she'ein mevi chatasu misha over. A melech, once he's no longer melech, he doesn't bring the same korban anymore. Certainly, then eino din shlo yavi ala kohen. But Malam Mashiach shekein ein mevi b'shikas ma'isa. But you would have rejected that kohen that kal v'chomer, because a kohen gadol doesn't act. He doesn't bring a korban just for a act. He has to paskin wrong. But Tomer b'nasi shemevi b'shikas ma'isa. But a melech, he's not involved in psak. He gets the korban even with an act only. So hoilu mevi b'shikas ma'isa yavi la koidmos. So that would have given me thought that maybe the melech does get to bring his special korban even for prior acts. Talmud Lama Hashem Nasiachta Shechatav Areu Nasi. You're talking about somebody who sins when he's the melech, but not a person who sinned when he was not the king. Ton Rabban. Asher Nasiachta Yachol Gzeira. Maybe this is just a prediction that the melech is going to sin. Talmud Loimer, Ima Kohen HaMashiach Yechta, Mala Alon, there by the Kohen Gadol is L'Shichiyate. It's just, these are the korbanos he has to bring if he sins. Avkan, L'Chashi Yechta. The same thing for the Melech. It's not a Gzeira. Okay. Johnny, we're on Daf Yud, a little bit on the bottom.
Yud?
Daf Yud.
Noon, okay.
Yud. Horyus Yud. Omer Mar. Yachol Gzeira. I mean, what kind of Gzeir Mechitesi? Why would we think that because he becomes the Melech, there's a Gzeir that he's going to sin? Amri in, yeah. Because Ashkachan Dechsiv, Ki Savo Eretz Knan, Ashani Nosei Lechem Lachuzah, V'nosati Neget Saras B'veis Eretz Achuzatzchem. Besoira Hi Lahem, Shenegoim Ba'am Aleim. They were given a prediction that when you come into the land, there's going to be Negoim in your houses, Dev Rabbi Yehuda. Rav Shimon Omer, that the Negoim are Metame, not only if the Negoim came from Hashem, right? Midei Shemayim, not from an Oines. Prat Lenige Oinsim. Like if you have a nega for some other reason. Lavam of Yehuda Besorah. So just like Klal Yisrael was given a Besorah, the news that when they came into Eretz Yisrael they would have Negoim, a Melech, when he becomes a Melech, is going to have Chatoim. Hochanami Ema, Gzeri. So, however, Hilkach Ksi, that's why the Pasuk had to say, Im HaKohen HaMashiach Yechta. It's not for sure that he's going to sin. It's just if. Now, Reb Shimon Nigei Oinsin Milo Metamu. Now, where did Reb Shimon get this notion that Negoim that come through an accident are not Metami? Vatanya. Adam kiyeh be'or b'saros se'es o sapachas min adibur ve'elech. That means once this mitzvah was given to Klal Yisrael, it only includes future Negoim, not Negoim that were there before. V'alodinu, and it's a Kal V'chomer. Tamim b'zav v'tamim b'Negoim. A zav is metame and Negoim are metame. Ma zav, it's min adibur ve'elech. You only after Matan Torah did someone who was a zav become tamei. Af Negoim min adibur ve'elech. So we would know that it's about Negoim. Lo, imram bezav shezavim metame b'oines. No, a zav is not metame if it happened through illness. Torah ben Negoim shemetame b'oines, but Negoim are metame b'oines. Talmud Lomer Adam kiyeh min adibur ve'elech. So we see clearly from this brisa that Negoim are metame b'oines. So Rava Amar prat lenige ruchos. The v'nosati neget saras, that's to exclude Negoim that come through demons. Rava Amar lemay prat lenige ksofim, or like witchcraft Negoim. Ton Rabbanon. Asher nasi yechta prat lechoila. That it excludes a chola. So mishum dahavile chola itchile min siyos. What's because he's sick? He's not the melech. Amar of Dimi Bar Chama prad lenasi shnit start. We're talking about a mitzora. That if a melech becomes a mitzora, he's out of the kingship. Shneimar, we learned this in Melachim Beis. Vayinaga Hashem es hamelech vayi mitzora yom oso vayeshev bebeis hachovshis. The Yosa ben Amelech alabai shofet esam haaretz. So he didn't sing in the palace anymore. He sat in a regular house. He was removed from the malchus. Now midika omer beveis hachovshis michlal. It's like the freedom house. What that hashta eved ave? Why was he an Eved? No, he was an Eved and a Chanami L'Tzrachei Tzibur. You're like a servant of the public. Ki hadron Galiav Rabbi Yeshua Azli B'Sfinasa. Gabriel and Rabbi Yoshua were traveling by boat. Bahadi Rabbi Gamliel have a pita. Rabbi Gamliel had a loaf of bread with him. Bahadi Rabbi Yeshua have a pita v'solta. He had bread and flour. Shalim pita, they finished the bread, Shal Rabbi Gamliel, and the journey took longer. Samach hasulta to Rabbi Yeshua, and he relied for food on the flour of Rabbi Yeshua for food. Amr lemi abi yadat havale ikuva kolahai. The ititzulta. Rabbi Gamliel asked Rabbi Yeshua, how did you know that this trip would take a long time and that you brought extra food? Amr le kochav echad l'shivim shana ola. Sounds like Halley's Comet, certain star that we see every 70 years. Umates asafonim, and it confuses the sailors. And many times it causes the journey to be longer. Maybe this star will arise on this trip and it will delay us. You're so smart and you still have to travel by boat to make your parnasa. You wonder about me. What about al shnei talmidim sheyesh lecha biyabasha? Two other students, Rabbi Elazar Chasma of Rabbi Yochanan ben Gudgoda, sheyodim l'shar kama tipos yesh biyam, they can calculate the volume of the oceans, and still ein lehem pat le'echol v'lo beged lubash. They're so poor, they have no bread or clothing. Nosan daito ulo shivim barosh. Rabbi Gamliel wanted to appoint them head of the Sanhedrin so they could have better parnasa. Kishaha'Allah shalach lehem v'lav v'lobo. So when they got off the boat, Rabbi Gamliel sent the messenger to bring them. They didn't come. Then he sent again, and they came. Amr lahem, what do you mean? You don't want to be appointment? You think I'm giving you like command? By appointing you head of the community, you're becoming a servant of the community. It was told to one of the malachim that he was going to be a servant to the people. Fortunate is the generation that the melech brings a nasi korban because of a shogeg he did. He sort of had a feeling he has to bring a korban. Im nasi shalom mevi korban, if the nasi is bringing it, it certainly was a musar that regular people should bring as well. V'im al shegagoso mevi korban, and if he's bringing a korban for a shogeg, so tzarcha taloymar mauzdono. So you have to tell people who are doing sins b'mezid what their tshuva is. Maskar Rava Breda Rava. Ela me'ato, that the asher is like you're giving them a bracha. Tichsiv ves asher chata min kodesh yishalem uv'yarva benavat tichsiv b'asher chata v'asher echti. So what are you saying? Yasher koach achanami she'asher adoru. So shani achad is shani krabedibure. The word im nasi echta gave the license to say that the asher is like a bracha. Dorash Rav Nachman Baruch is the Ma'itich Siv Yesh Hevel Asher Nasa La'aretz. There is things we don't understand, people of things happening on earth. Asher Yesh Tzadikim Asher Magia Alehem Kemasar Shoim. There are tzaddikim who get punished like Rishoim. V'yesh Rishoim Shemagia Alehem Kemasar Tzadikim, and Rishoim that get rewarded. And we darshan Ashrem Tzadikim Shemagia Alehem Kemasar Rishoim Shalom Haba. Happy are the tzaddikim that receive what the Rishonim get in Olam Haba. There, the Rishonim suffer. So the tzaddikim get it in this world, so they get pure reward in Olam Haba. The Rishonim on this world get the reward of the tzaddikim in Olam Haba on this world, Olam Hazeh. But they lose out of everything in Olam Haba. Amar Rava, Atu tzadiki iachli treolmi misanilu. What's wrong if tzaddikim, they eat well on this world and they eat well on the next world? Happy are tzaddikim who get good reward in this world. And and happy are tzaddikim when the Rishonim get punished in this world. Rav Papa of Ravuna Braid Rav Yeshua Asla Kamein Rav. Amar Lam Ukimti Masechta Plana Masechta Plan. He tested them and he said, you studied this Masechta well and this Masechta well. Or he asked them, did you study it well? Amrulay in. Yetriyu Purta. Do you have a little wealth? Amrulay in. The Zovan Katina the Ara, we sold a little plot of land and we have parnasa from that. So they benefited from having reward even in Olam Hazeh. There's a road with tzaddikim are yesharim, and they're rewarded, and the Rishonim travel the same road and they're punished. Mashal of Nemnei Adam, Shitzalu Pischeim. Two people roasted their korban pesach. Echad achlu l'shem mitzvah. One ate it l'shem korban mitzvah. Echad achlu l'shem achilas gasa. One was hungry and he ate it like an achilas gasa. Zeh shach l'shem mitzvah tzadikim yachubam. They're dealing with the same mitzvah, but one is a tzadik and zeh shach l'shem achilas gasa poishim yikashluba. Omer Reish Lakish. That doesn't make Russia Kari slave. I mean, the guy who's eating the korban pesach, why is he Russian? He ate the loy mitzvah and the muvcher. He didn't do the mitzvah completely well because he ate achilas gasa. But pesach milo ka'achil, he ate the korban pesach. How can you call him a Russia? Ella, mashal shneim ne'oda. Ze ishto v'choysu imo b'bayis. Ze ishto v'choysu b'bayis. Each person had their wife and their sister in their house. Echad nizdan lo ishto. One had relations with his wife. Vechad nizdam lo achoyso. By accident, the other one had relations with his sister. Zesh nizdam lo ishto yet tzadikim yalchuba. Zesh nizdam lo achoyso posh mikashluba. The Gemara says, "Me dummy." That's not a good marshal. Anan karina chada derech. We're talking about the same road. V'achas shnei drachim. Here's two different people. Ela mashal lo to shnei b'noisav. It's Lot and the two daughters. They slept with their father because they thought that the world was destroyed, and they're not going to have pru or vu. So they l'shem mitzvah. Tzadikim yachuba. Hush niskav l'shem avera, poishlim yikashluba. He had kavona l'avera. Frankly, more of a dilma hu nami l'shem mitzvah. How do you know? Maybe he l'shem is makavin l'shem mitzvah. Rav Yechla, no. Kol ha-pasuk hazeh. The pasuk is Vayisa Lot es Einav, Vayaret Kol Kikar Yarden Ki Kula Mashke. It's all Darshan L'Shem Avera Nemar. Vayisa Lot, the word Vayisa comes from Vatisa Eshes Adonav es Einea El Yosef Eshes Potiphar. And when it says by Lot, Vayisa Lot es Einav, Esainav is Vayomer Shimshon, Osakachli Kihu Yashra Be'enai. He told his father, I want to marry Delilah because she is good in my eyes. Vayar is Vayar Osa Shem ben Chamor. Vayishkavusa, when Shem saw Dinah, Esko Kikar Yarden, because Ki Ba'ad Isha Zona ad Kikar Lechem in Mishlei. Ki Kula Mashke, El chachrei ma'avaynos telachmi u'memeit somri u'pishti shamni v'shikuyai, which refers to znus. So Why are we hacking on Lot? V'hamenis honest. He was drunk. He had no kavana. Tana mishum Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Choimi. It says lo yada b'shichva u'kuma. Lama nakud al vav b'kuma shel b'chira. There's a dot on the vav of the kuma, the older daughter. Lo melacha sheb'shichva lo yada aval b'kuma yada. That Lot didn't know what happened when he fell asleep, but when he woke up in the morning, he knew what was going on. So he should have been much more careful the next night. So afraid to Gemara, what should he have done? What do you mean? What happened? No, nafik b'nei the lapanya akrina lo yiboy lo mishti. He should have recognized that for the next night he shouldn't have drink wine. Dorash Rabba, my dichsiv, ach nifsha mikiryas uz, umedinim kivriach armon. Ach nifsha mikiryas uz zel Lot, shepirish mavram. Lot separate from Avram Avinu. Umedinim kivriach armon shehitil medinim ben Yisrael Amon. He created permanent enmity between Ammon and Yisrael because lo yavo Ammoniyu Moavi b'kal Hashem. Dorash Rabba v'yitem Rav Yitzchak. My dichsiv l'tava yivukash nifrad b'chol tushya yizgal. Pasuk in Mishlei. L'taiva yivakesh nifrad zelot shenifrad ma'avram. Because of his desire and Yetzer Hara, he separated from Avram. B'chol tushya yizgal shenizgala kloinoi b'bati knesses b'bati midrashos. The embarrassment of Lot is read every year in the shuls and in the bati midrashos. They learn about this. This nan Amoni umoavi asurin iser oilam. Can't marry them. Amar Ula. Tamar Zonsa Zimri Zina. Tamar had relations with the father-in-law Yehuda. Zimri had relations with Cosby. Tamar Zonsa v'yetzi b'menem lachim nevim. Tamar gave birth to kings and Nevi'im. Zimri Zina v'naflu kama rivos Misrael. Thousands were killed. Well, what's the difference? Amar Bar Yitzchak. G'doyla veira lishma mimitzvah shelo lishma. An avera done l'shem shamayim is greater than a mitzvah that's done shelo lishma. Shenemar tevurach minashim ya'el eishes chevra keni minashim ba'oil tevurach. Yael killed Sisera, and he slept with her and tired him out so she could kill him. Ma'ayin unashim ba'oil. Who are the women in the tent? Sar Rivka Rachel V'Leah. And she was blessed because of them. More says Eini. A person should study Torah even Shalol Lishma. If you study Shalol Lishma, it'll come Lishma. So a mitzvah Shalol Lishma is something important too. So Ema, you have to say an Avera Shalol Lishma is like a mitzvah Shalol Lishma. On Rav Yochanan Sheva Be'ilos, Baal Osa Rasha Bosa Shah. Sisera had 7 times relations with Yoel. Shenemar, Bein Raglea Kora Nofal Shachav. For it Gemor V'Hakam Isyane Mavera, she had pleasure from this Avera. Why is she praised? Filu Toivasam Shel Rishoyim Rahi Eitzel Tzadikim. It was considered evil for a tzaddik. Amar Yidam Arav Lo'elam Yasser Kadam B'Torah V'Mitzvah Fil Shelo Lishma Shemitah Shelo Lishma Bal Lishma Shebischar Arboim U'Shnayim Korbanos Sheikriv Balak HaRasha. Balak offered 42 korbanos to curse Klal Yisrael, but he was makriv a korban that's Shelo Lishma Zacha V'Yatza Mimenu Rus. Shenemar of Yosef Rav Chanin. Rus is Bas Beno Shel Eglon, was the granddaughter of Eglon, who was the Ben Beno Shel Balak Melech Moab. Okay, we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll learn, we said, at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, okay. Shkoyach Ernie.